start again. Go back over there. Keep filming. Today we're working on an Abbot engine pack. This is actually a Rolls-Royce K60. It's a 6-cylinder engine, but it's twin cranked. So you have a crank top and bottom, and it's like a boxer engine. So you've got 6 cylinders, 12 pistons. It's got a small supercharger on the other side. It's not really a supercharger. Everyone moans when I call it a supercharger. It's 2-stroke, so it won't run without a supercharger. There's a different word for supercharger. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so this engine is a bit unknown, and I'm basically trying to build it up for a friend of mine who needs it for his tank driving business. And we are trying to salvage what parts we have left. And parts of these now are getting extremely hard to come by. So the main thing is it had a problem with the charging. The rectifier had a few blown capacitors. So he has dropped me off a replacement. What you find with these, this converts AC to DC. God knows why it needs all that complication. But these capacitors in here actually blow apart and they stop working. There's also a few rows of them in there. They usually only blow when people that aren't very clever connect the pack up in the wrong way round, because you have AC1, AC2, AC3, and then negative DC, positive DC. And somehow people get this wrong and blow it up, because usually they're pretty reliable. The other thing that was an issue on this engine is it didn't come with an injector pump. Now the injector pumps also can give a bit of bother on these, as you've seen from the channel before. So we have built up a decent injector pump out of knackered bits, and we have it on the bench over here, and we shall show you what we're going to do. So the plan is we're going to fit the rectifier, we're going to test the injector pump, which you're about to see, and then we will have to fit this enormous thing. This is the heat exchanger. Real pain in the backside to fit on an Abbot pack, really fiddly, and that basically uses the engine water to cool the oils down, which also creates a lot of trouble. Usually what it does is mix the oils and the water together when they fail. So yeah, things could go terribly wrong in this video. We have got Ted here to help, and he's got his pretty little dicky bow on. He's just had a full doggy grooming, so he's a nice clean poo today. Over here we have the injection pump, and I shall give a little bit of a description of the basics, how one of these works. Probably bore you all to death. So the input's there, you turn this, or the engine will turn that. That then drives a cam, which then changes each one of these plungers lift up and down at different intervals. And these things here, with the little screw heads on, that's connected to what's called the rack. So when you rev the engine up, that will move that way, which actually will, if you can imagine there's 2 holes, it'll allow more fuel, less fuel, more fuel, less fuel, putting it very simply. And that's all controlled by a governor, which is hydraulic. So you put ATF, which is automatic transmission fluid, into there to that line. Now I'm going to have to cover my finger over that because it has a pressure feed, because these engine packs are actually automatic. And what that does off the governor is it runs a little ram that works the kick-down piston on the automatic gearbox. And of course, because I'm just trying to do an on-the-bench diagnosis of the pump, I'm going to just block that with my finger so it doesn't leak all its governor all over the floor. What I've done here is blocked the fuel return lines with some copper washers, and I've put a little funnel on there full of diesel, and that means that the body of the pump is full of diesel and primed. So with a drill, when I turn that, it should start injecting out of there, and when I operate the throttle, it should make the governor open up, and it should make these move. If it doesn't, it could mean the pump may run away, which is why we're going to test it here. We're not going to put it all on like everyone else does and then realise that the engine runs away. Now this is going to be a bit of a fiddle for me. I'm going to try and stand so I'm not in your way. I'm going to try and work the drill. I'm probably going to get a little bit soaked in diesel, which everyone can laugh at. So I'm going to put my hood up. And what you're looking for is these racks to move. Now it is hydraulic, so it will take it a second or two to catch up with itself. I'm just going to get soaked, aren't I? There's no 2 ways about it. Here we go. Well, it was injecting. I couldn't see if the rack was moving. So the rack was actually doing its job properly, as you saw early on in the video. And what happened is you found that it went so far and then got stuck. And quite rightly so, because I'm holding my finger over this outlet here, which works the actuator on the gearbox, it built up pressure and then it didn't allow movement. Obviously, when it's connected to the ram can extend and retract. And because obviously I'm blocking it off, it can't do that. So the rack pressure got to a certain pressure and stayed. And when I let my finger off, it let the pressure off, and then the governor retracted. So it's not exactly an accurate test, but let me just make that a little bit clearer for those that don't understand. When it is connected in the vehicle, this little pipe here is what I'm talking about. I was blocking that, so oil should travel down there to this piston. This piston then comes in and out like that, which will hold the gearbox, lock it in a gear. And just that little movement in the piston allows the rack pressure to govern properly. Because I was just holding it off, sealing it, it just meant that it built up to a certain pressure and it stayed at that pressure till I let my finger off. So my cameraman's worried, but I'm not. I'm pretty happy that pump's going to work all right. So I will be fitting it. If it doesn't work, we can all laugh and I'm an idiot, but I'm pretty happy that's going to work. So what we're going to do now is bang the rectifier in and then start fitting the injector pump. And I bet I stink now. Good job I can't smell. That's 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there we go. That is the cheapest thing I've ever used, but that is right. We can continue. I really don't understand the point of these things. All they do is get caught in everything and go in your dinner. Right. Now with the hooding modified, when you're fitting these pumps on these K60s, there's a little dowel indent, and that's to help you time it, because you can't really get it in wrong unless you're a complete spanner. And on the side of the engine you'll see that the dowel sticks out, it goes into there. So now, you take it out here without just dropping the whole thing. Get it on. The pump is always a fiddle to get on. That's great. Blind me. Well, I definitely didn't lose my patience at any point. So the injector pump is now all on and fitted. All the bolts and pipes are all tightened up. And now, got the really tricky, most difficult part, and that's fitting that heat exchanger, where you've got to line up all these fine threaded unions all together and hold it and sort the water, and it's really heavy and you can't get at nothing. You can't get spanners on anything because, yeah. So I imagine my patience is about to run out, but I am, am I identifying as a photo?
You are.
Right, so I should be okay then. We shall continue with this.
If that can do it and can't complain, you can't.
Yeah, we shall get this on in just a jiffy. So, that wasn't at all the struggle, but we have got all of those hydraulic fittings on and tight, which is great fun, and we've also got the ones on the top. So now I'm connecting the water hoses, which is this one, and one at the back, which looks like it's going to be a real pain. Let's hope it's not. And then we've just got to put the frame on that holds it, the hydraulic oil tank, connect the throttle up, put the starter on. Woohoo, how hard can it be? We're getting there. It's only took hours. Just trying to connect the hydraulic oil tank. which works the hydraulic fans, cool the engine. Just everything on this is... Someone ever says that I'm lucky to work on this stuff, they've never worked on this stuff. There's nothing lucky about it. It's very much unlucky. Boring. Done. We are almost ready to put the starter motor. Woo. So this is a starter motor that we found in a bush. We don't actually know if it's any good or not, so we're going to give it the old test. That's alright. I'm happy with that. Let's bang that on. Everything's going well. Said nobody ever. So we are ready to do the big trial. I'm going to use the suffragettes feeding tunnel. So that seems to be the best way of doing this. I'm going to put some fuel in there now, and then broom handle it. And then we are going to be extra cautious and use the CO2 extinguisher, the air cleaner out, just in case we do need to stop it in a hurry, because that is, as I always say, the best way to do so and the safest. So fingers crossed this is actually going to work. I'll tell you how we can bleed the system. Let's build the best. Bleed. We're bled. Fingers crossed, it's going to work. Always exciting. They could always run away and blow themselves up. We're going away from jump packs and going to brand new batteries now. I mean, it is the first time it started in a long time. 3. Should get the the clacker. Okay, let's try this again. Whether it's going to do the big runaway, I don't know. That was a great success. Thank you all for watching. We've now got to clean the entire tool wall. We're going to have to be quick because we are going to get gassed in here. So we'll see you all again in another video. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. Is that running? I do believe that is running. We've come back. Now the mist has descended. We're going to just see if it starts up a bit better. Now it's ran once and it's got its little bit of water out of it. Right, are we ready? Hello, my name's Tom Lamb and I am an astronaut and I'm going to space and I grow plants.